Boom. Here he is, the brand new SH Figuarts Chainsaw Man, the movie, Reze Arc. What a mouthful. But as you can see, it's Lord Chainsaw in all of his glory based on his design from the movie. And just looking at the box, like already, this guy is looking pretty insane. I love the detail on the box here of the green blood splatter, kind of like the style of the manga. And then here's the side of the box, you got another picture of him. And then here's the back of the box, more neat little pictures. And then, you see that accessory spread isn't looking too fine, but we'll look at that later. And then here's the other side of the box, nothing. So yeah, clearly the box isn't giving us too much information on this guy, so I think we got to get him open, so let's get him out of there. Boom, here he is outside of the box in all his bloody glory, and man, does he look sick. I gotta give it to Bandai, whenever it comes to the looks of these figures, they never miss. He looks exactly like he does in the movie, the colors look great, the sculpt everywhere is just fantastic. And I mean, it is kind of all reused from the last Chainsaw Man except for the main body here, but we're gonna ignore that. But I mean, just take a look at all these details. I mean, look, he's got his shirt flapping in the wind, which looks super sick. I love the new pants, the light blue is such a nice color. And then of course, you've got his chainsaw head. He's got blood all over the chainsaws. Looks super... What? He has it... Hold on. There's not another hand in there. Okay. We're gonna get to that in a bit. In the meantime, let's just keep looking at this guy. He's got a little bit of shading on his abs here. It's probably pretty hard to tell on camera, but there's a closer look at it. It's kind of like a pinkish skin tone color. Of course, he's got his little chainsaw rev up thingy. What do you call that? I think the only thing missing from the look of this guy would be some shading on this neck area. It looks a little too plasticky for me, and I think a little bit of shading could go a long way. Also, look at that. Can you see his eyes under the visor there? That's pretty crazy. Pretty cool little detail, right? I think by now we've gotten a good enough look at him, so it's time to address the giant four-legged shark in the room. These are the accessories that come with the figure. No, I'm not joking. That is it. That is all you get. You get an extra mouth and then 2 pairs of extra hands. That's it. No more, no effect, no blood, no more hands, no more faces, no nothing. That's all. And you want to know the real kicker, at least about my copy? They didn't even give me a piece of his hand. He's missing a whole piece of his left hand here. No, guys, I'm not joking. He came out of the box like this. I was really excited to get this guy. I loved the arc when I read it in the manga. I watched the movie. It was incredible. And so, I really wanted him, but then he comes out of the box like this. I know this kind of stuff happens sometimes, but man, it's not supposed to happen to me. So yeah, he's missing a whole side of his hand, so I can't even use this hand. I have to use one of the other ones, or he's always gonna be missing a hand. It's like it got chopped off. I don't know, maybe he was fighting Reze and it blew off during shipment. I don't know. All I do know is that it's extremely disappointing, especially whenever you consider the fact that he's already not coming with much in the first place. And for his price, I really think he should. To me, this almost feels more like a budget figure than it does like a $50, $60 release like it actually is. And that's not even counting shipping. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get this guy, don't expect much from the accessories. You're not really getting anything. If you got the last Chainsaw Man, you kind of know what you're getting into with this one. You're basically buying the same figure twice, and it is a shame, but if you really want this look, you gotta do it. Alright, well, moving on to a more positive note now, let's talk about Lord Chainsaw's articulation. And man, they did a good job here. I'd argue this is better than the original Chainsaw Man. So first of all, we'll start with his head. He can look up pretty darn far, so you can get some pretty cool poses with that range. You can move it pretty far down as well, but whenever moving the head, you gotta be careful because the lower jaw does tend to fall off. I wish it wasn't as loose as it is, but it'll be fine. So overall, he's got some pretty great movement. He can just move all the way around, thanks to both the head and the neck. Moving on to the arms, we've got the shoulders here, which I know have been pretty weird on the Denji and Chainsaw Man figures. Yeah, they're still weird. I mean, Yeah, that just popped off. They're still pretty weird, so I mean, you can't get the best range out of them, and they just function very strangely. I don't know why they do that. But I don't think they're taking away too much from the figure. They still work, so I'm not too bothered by it. He does have a swivel right at the like almost elbow. It's kind of weird, but it is there, and it does help in the case of moving his arm around, because this is just a single jointed arm, which I think I get why they did it because of the chainsaw design here, but you can see whenever you want to spin the chainsaw around, that's what moves that elbow swivel thing, whatever you would call that. But even though it's single jointed, I'd say the arm gets acceptable range. I mean, I'm not looking for anything past that, to be honest. Now, of course, there's no articulation at the wrist because, you know, he's got a giant chainsaw sticking out of his arm. So everything on the arm is pretty good. I think they've done about the best they can with a chainsaw arm. Next up, we've got the body, which is the newest part of this Chainsaw Man. So let's see how it articulates. And first off, oh my goodness, look at that ab crunch. Look at that ab crunch on a Chainsaw Man figure. That's insane. That's awesome. It is so much better than the last Chainsaw Man. And I know it's because, you know, he's got his shirt off and they can make more cuts, but I don't know. This is what I wanted from the last one. It is really awesome. And then of course he can bend back pretty decently. I mean, you know, not as far as he can crunch forward, but I'm not really trying to bend him back. That looks kind of weird. Next up, we've got his legs, where he can indeed do the splits, which is pretty awesome. And then he's got a thigh swivel. He's got double jointed knees, which have great range on them. He can kick up pretty far out, and he can kick a little far behind, but not too far thanks to his sculpted booty. And then of course, down at the shoes here, we've got an ankle pivot, which works very well on this guy. And then also a toe hinge, which works very well. So overall, this guy articulates incredibly well. You can get him into just about any pose you want and he'll look badass. I mean, I guess that just comes with being a Chainsaw Man. You just kind of inherently look cool. But anyway, that's enough about articulation. Let's see how he stacks up to the rest of the Chainsaw Man figures. First off, here he is next to his older brother, and man, they both look so good. I can't lie, I'm still a little partial to the old design. I love red and black, it just looks so good. But the new one is still incredible, and I love the new colors as well. I think both designs are just great. Here he is next to the samurai sword figure, and this is really sick. I've always loved the samurai sword design as well, so being able to put him next to the Reze arc version of Chainsaw Man, it looks really, really cool. Now, of course, we gotta compare him to the OG Denji. I don't know where my old Denji's tie is. I really don't know where that went. But yeah, they look great together. And then here he is with Power. I still think Power looks weirdly shiny compared to the rest of the line. I'm not really sure what that's about, but something about the finish on her just does not look quite right. But at the very least, these two still look great together. Then finally, we got him up next to Makima, which she looks tiny compared to him. Honestly, she looks kind of tiny compared to the entire rest of the line. I'm not sure why she feels a little out of scale, but regardless, as always, they still look awesome together. So, for my final thoughts, I know I haven't said a ton of negative things about this guy, really only a few issues here and there. I don't know if I can recommend him. He is practically just the same figure we've already gotten, with the same exact accessories, just wearing a different outfit. And if you're a huge Chainsaw Man fan, I could totally see wanting to get this. But, you know, if yours comes with an issue, like a missing hand, like mine did, then you will probably be very disappointed. Overall, I would say only get this guy if you are absolutely desperate to use him in like a Reze arc display. But if not, you can just stick with the OG. I'm gonna give this guy a 6 out of 10. I know, it's kind of low, but I'm sorry, they're basically just giving us the same figure again, and you know, that missing hand really soured the experience. Sorry guys. But that is going to do it for this review. Once again, thank you for all the support on the recent videos. I really appreciate all the kind comments. I love making these videos. I've always wanted to do it, so being able to finally do it is super awesome. So let me know what I should review next, because I'm kind of running out of new figures here. Might do Figma Okuru next, maybe. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.